Sean Murphy here with Living on the South Shore of Massachusetts. And today I want to take you on a Google Maps tour of one of my favorite towns here on the South Shore, Cohasset, Massachusetts. I want to show you where it is on the South Shore, what the commute might look like into Boston if you're planning on commuting potentially, what the town looks like, where the downtown is, the amount of coastline that this town has, and of course, my favorite beach on the South Shore, Sandy Beach. So without further ado, let me get my Google Maps up and we will take a deep dive into Cohasset, Massachusetts and where it is here on the South Shore. All right, guys, now that I got the Google Maps up, what I like to do, first things first, I like to zoom out a little bit, really show you where the town is in reference to Boston, the Cape, the islands, and just where it is on the South Shore in general. So you can see it outlined in red right here, sandwiched in between Hingham and Scituate. Part of it does border Hull. Hull is this peninsula of land that shoots out right here. But this, Cohasset, compared to some of the other towns on the South Shore, is one of the smaller towns. You can see over here, as of 2020, the population was about 8,300 people, 8,400 people to be a little bit more exact. That's probably grown a little bit in the past 3 years, but not by a lot. There's not a lot of available land in Cohasset to even build on. So, you know, the population doesn't grow that much. That being said, Cohasset is one of my favorite towns on the South Shore because of its beauty, its coastline, and I love its downtown. And of course, I mentioned before, my favorite beach is here in Cohasset, Sandy Beach. So before we get into that stuff, before we really zoom in and start to show you around and where things are, take a note here. So Hingham, we did another one of these tours before. Hingham, right next door, but Hingham's much, much larger. Hingham goes all the way from the northern tip where it's on the water to the southern tip, which is just past 3 here. So Hingham takes up a lot of space here, a lot of square mileage. Cohasset, much, much smaller in general. You are not touching 3. You know, you're a good 20-minute drive to get to Route 3 to get to the highway here. So just a little bit of difference there, just in size and how much mileage it actually takes up. All right, so first things first, let's show you what a commute would look like heading into Boston. All right, so this is what the commute looks like heading into Boston. That being said, what time is it here? It's almost 1 p.m. on a Wednesday, so not commuting time. This, very typical to Hingham, is going to be anywhere from 50 to an hour in 20 minutes, 50 minutes to an hour and 20 minutes, most likely. Just depends on the day, depends on what route you're taking, depends on the traffic, construction, etc., which always seems to be happening around here. But you can see the best route as of right now is taking you down through Hingham, connecting onto 3. You also can drive through Weymouth and Quincy, hit the Quincy shoreline. That'll get you there as well. Difference of, 2 minutes right now. But as we did with Hingham, there is the Greenbush line. There's a train stop right in Cohasset. The train goes through downtown Cohasset. That's not where the station is. The station's a little bit away from downtown, but the train goes right through town. So it's very, very easy. There's a parking lot right next to the train station, which is never full. So you can hop in there and hop on the train pretty fast. That takes you right into South Station, and then you connect. And by the way, South Station's right here, and you can then connect to wherever you're going by train, by Uber, walking, whatever you're doing. But the commute from Cohasset is surprisingly very easy. You can see 51 minutes on the train right now. Now, just like we did with Hingham, there's also that third option of commuting. You take the ferry out of the Hingham shipyard. So if you haven't watched that video, it's the same thing, Google Maps video of Hingham. You can see these little lines. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. You can see these little lines coming out of the Hingham shipyard here. These are the ferry lines. So there's one ferry that connects into Hull and then goes into the city. And then there's another direct ferry that goes straight into the city. This is by far the best way to commute. You're on a boat. Hopefully it's a beautiful day out there, but you can just relax. The views are incredible. You're going through the Boston Harbor Islands, which is beautiful. Even if you're connecting into Hull, it's only a couple minutes longer. It's really not that much big of a difference when it comes to the time. But there's no better way to commute. There's a bar on the boat if you want to get a drink. They also have snacks. They have, whatever you need on there. But during the summer, you can't have a better commuting option than this. There's a ton of seating outside, on the upper deck of the boat, even on the bottom part of the boat. There's seating outside. You can just sit in the sun, enjoy being on the water, and that's your commute. So if you're leaving from Cohasset, going to the Hingham Shipyard, let's do that right now so you guys can see. So downtown Cohasset to the Hingham Shipyard, you got a 15-minute drive. So add that onto a 45-minute boat ride. You're looking at an hour-long commute, maybe an hour and 10 minutes, depending on if you're connecting into Hull or not. So really not that bad. Very similar to taking the train. What a lot of people tend to do, they take the boat in the summertime, the spring, the fall, wintertime, they tend to take the train. The wintertime, very rarely, those the Hingham Shipyard area can freeze over. So those boats sometimes aren't running, but way better. That boat ride is way better, of course, when the weather is nice. So there you are with the commuting options, excuse me. So let's get into Cohasset, Massachusetts here. So like I said, guys, about 8,500 people in town, much, much smaller than Hingham, much, much smaller than Scituate. Those are the two towns. They're kind of sandwiched in between, but it is an unbelievably beautiful town. And I'm going to show you some of these roads in a sec here, but it's got an amazing downtown, a bunch of restaurants, some great coffee shops, some other little shops in there as well. But it's a beautiful place. It also borders on Wampatuck State Park here that also, is shared with Hingham. It's shared with Norwell. This is a really, really nice spot, Wampatuck State Park right here. And you can access that over here at Whitney Thayer Woods. There's another, Turkey Hill over here. You can access it. There's another trail head right over here by the reservoir. So there's a bunch of little spots that you can get into the park there, ride a mountain bike, go for a walk, go for a hike, whatever you plan on doing. But let's zoom in a little bit. I want to show you the downtown here. All right, guys. So I just zoomed in. We switched it over to satellite so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. But this is Cohasset. Let me zoom out just one. Let's go 2 times so you can see where we are in Cohasset. So here's the ocean, of course. Cohasset Cove into Cohasset Harbor right here. This is known as Little Harbor over here. The only access point is right through here, which I will show you in a little bit, Cunningham Bridge. Not a lot of people take their boats in here. It gets very shallow at low tide, but you can. They got to be small boats, but a lot of people will paddleboard in here. They'll take their kayaks out at low tide. There's a huge, you can kind of see it in the Google image here, or the satellite image. There's a sandbar that kind of pops out. Some people will literally paddleboard out there and just set up some beach chairs. It's pretty cool. But that is where we are. So if we zoom in a little bit, you can see the downtown area. Downtown area. Whoop. It's a sensitive mouse. Hold on. Here we are. There's 2 kind of downtown areas. One is actually getting revamped as we speak, but let's focus on the main part, which is right here. So you will notice downtown is very small. That being said, it's beautiful. So you almost come in. North Main Street is one of the main drives into downtown. Ripley Road, of course, is a little cut through, but North Main Street's the main drag. So if you're coming in from Hingham, you're coming North Main Street. You're coming in from Scituate, you're coming South Main Street. But they all connect right downtown. You have the Cohasset Common when you're first getting in there, which is beautiful. Just a shared common space in downtown. It's got this little pond right here, which is really fun for the kids. It's very shallow, but in the wintertime, this freezes over and everybody's skating on that pond. Really fun pond for kids to learn how to ice skate. Because here in New England, it's something you got to know how to do. You got to be able to do that in the wintertime. Pond skating, pond hockey, so much fun. But this is also where they have the Cohasset Farmers Market during the warmer months. And a little known fact, guys, a couple movies have been filmed here. The movie Witches of Eastwick was filmed here. Jack Nicholas, Cher, some other people. I don't know. That was a long time ago. I think it was like 1987 or so. And then House Sitter with Steve Martin, Goldie Hawn was also filmed in parts of Cohasset. The downtown, you will recognize right away. But pretty cool that they filmed those back here a long time ago. but pretty cool. So anyways, you got the Cohasset Common right there. As we go down a little bit, I'm going to zoom in just slightly so you can see the names of some of these businesses. But you'll take North Main Street down here, right? And then you've got the South Shore Community Center that has a daycare in it. A lot of people use that for their kids going to daycare here. You got a barber shop, Pat's Barber Shop, which has been here for forever. Great spot. Train tracks, you'll notice, go right through town right here. But Lenny's Hideaway, great Mexican place. Peel Pizza. The Blue Oars, a really good pub-style type of restaurant right there. Seabird Coffee, delicious coffee. Split Rock Beer Garden, which is fairly new, but very, very popular. It's all outside. I'm trying to think. Bia Bistro, another Italian place there. A bagel shop. You've got the Barrel in Cohasset, which is kind of a general store, a really nice new general store. French Memories Bakery. The Red Lion Inn, which also has the Red Lion Tavern, and they do a ton of weddings there. And then, of course, Salty Days, which is a great seafood place. Anyways, so there's some of the businesses down here, guys. It's very much a thriving downtown. There's, of course, some offices that are on this main street here that don't really serve a purpose when it comes to shopping and the general public. But that being said, most of these businesses down here are, population focused. They're general businesses that everybody will go into every now and then. So sorry, zoomed in a little bit right there, but this is kind of the main downtown. It's beautiful. It's quaint. During the summertime, it's super busy. It's just a really fun downtown area. Now, I mentioned there's a second downtown. There's a second downtown. So if we follow Elm Street, right past the police station right here, fire department's also right there, we're going to get down to the Cohasset Harbor. Now, there are some old businesses here that are currently, as we speak, getting renovated, and they're changing them over. So the first one, the Harbor Cohasset. This used to be a hotel. They are now building beautiful condos here that are starting, I think, around $1.2 million, but there's a bunch of condos going in right on the water right here. They demolished this. They are building right now. And then across the street, this little piece of land as well is part of it. They're putting some more condos right there. These are going to be really, really nice condos, retail on the first floor, and then unobstructed views of the Cohasset Harbor here. Now, if we go down Border Street just a little bit further, the old Salt House right here, there's a restaurant that used to be there called the Atlantica. The building's still there. It's this building right here. They are renovating this entire building as well as we speak. They're going to turn this into a long, I just try to use my finger to point at the screen, a long public dock that goes out into the water right here. So you can drive your boat up. You can dock it right there. There's going to be multiple restaurants, little coffee shops, little dessert shops. This is going to be a really, really nice little retail area and business spot on the harbor, which is what people have been asking for in this town for forever. So the old Salt House is staying there, and they have this amazing outdoor deck right here that people can eat on, have a drink on, but then this whole thing is getting revamped. And then, I know, there's more. And then you come down over here, these couple buildings where the Cohasset Lobster Pound is, right here, these couple buildings are also a part of that Atlantica project. So they're going to be redone. The rumor is there's a brewery going into this building, I believe, right here. Don't quote me on this. This is just what I hear. It's all hearsay. But then this building is going to be turned into an inn called the Eastwick Inn after the Witches of Eastwick. So, these are all going to be years in the making, but very, very cool for a town like Cohasset to be getting a lot of businesses like this. It's really going to help just bring more business into town, which is great. A lot of history in this town, but you can see, guys, it is beautiful. The coastline is incredible. This little harbor area is gorgeous. And the one thing I want to show you, a couple little things here. This bridge right here, the Border Street Bridge, so popular to jump off of in the summertime when the tide is just right. Kids will line up right here. They'll jump off into the water. They'll climb up out onto the rocks here and walk back on the sidewalk to do it again. It's really, really fun. There's a lot of fun summertime things that kids do here. But this harbor is great. A lot of boating goes on in the summertime. As I zoom out, you will notice this little island over here. This is a hugely popular destination. You can see the harbor goes out into the ocean here. This is known as Bassing's Beach. So a lot of people will take their kids, they'll load up the boats, they'll literally just putt right over here, not a very far trip, and they'll set up along this beach right here or along this beach over here and just enjoy a day away from cars, away from parking lots. It's really, really popular. It's a lot of fun. But Cohasset's a very big boating community. A lot of people have boats in this town. So you can see as you leave the harbor, you are going right out into the ocean. It's beautiful. So now let's go over. I want to show you my favorite beach. Sandy Beach is in Cohasset. So downtown, right? We're going down here. If you head down Beach Street, zoom in slightly, you'll go right along the inner harbor here. You cross over Cunningham Bridge, and you are heading right to Sandy Beach. Now, I'm going to click on this so you can see a picture. Sandy Beach, oh, these aren't great pictures, but Sandy Beach is beautiful. You'll notice it's in this little protective cove right here, but it is ocean water, so this isn't a harbor beach. But this is a private beach, so you have to live in town to get a parking pass at this parking lot. There's a parking lot right here. Let me zoom in one more time so you can see it. There's a parking lot right here. And if this is full, there's nowhere else to park. You better know someone nearby, park in their driveway and walk. But if this is the main parking for this beach, but you can see how beautiful this beach is. Right here, I can just tell this is at low tide. When this is at low tide, you can see how huge and expansive this beach is. And you can see that high tide watermark right here. So still a pretty big beach when it is high tide. But this is by far my favorite beach because it's small, it's protected, it doesn't get very windy there, but you're swimming in the ocean. You have a parking lot, steps from the beach. And not only that, but you have this only a year or two old building that they put right here with bathrooms, changing rooms, a water fountain. They have a snack bar, full snack bar there. That's of course the lifeguard station right there. This is a lifeguarded beach. But guys, it is a beautiful beach. So one of the perks of living in Cohasset is you automatically get access to Sandy Beach, which if you're not in town, there is a waiting list, but it's a very long waiting list. So good luck getting that pass. But you will see the coastline in Cohasset is gorgeous. I'm trying to zoom out here. So I want to show you Jerusalem Road, which begins way over here where Hull, Cohasset, and Hingham all kind of meet. But the best part of Jerusalem Road starts right over here at Black Rock Beach. So this is another beach in town. As you can probably guess, it's fairly rocky. Black Rock Beach right here. This is where the best part of Jerusalem Road begins. Now, Jerusalem Road is one of the most gorgeous drives on the South Shore, in my opinion. You are driving down here. You can see how rocky the coastline is, but these homes along this road are incredible. So you can see some of these pieces of property down here, guys. You know, some as you continue down, a lot of them are on the cliffs overlooking the ocean here. It is gorgeous, but you can see all the rock that is in the land over here. So if you're planning on building anywhere in Cohasset, you better plan for some digging, a lot of rock that you got to take out, a lot of ledge going on in this area of the South Shore. But guys, look at this. I mean, as I scroll through, it just gets more and more beautiful. Look at this piece of property right here. You know, so Cohasset is a very, very nice town, a lot of coastline, a lot of opportunity to find a home on or near the ocean, on or near the coast, which you can't say as much for some of the other towns on the South Shore. Right. And as you go down Jerusalem Road, it kind of, loops around, it hugs the coastline. It turns into Atlantic Avenue. Jerusalem Road, this one takes you right back down to downtown along this inner harbor here. This is another little beach here, although this is mainly a private beach because there's no parking. And this is mostly for these people that live along the beach here. Because look at us. We just continue along Atlantic Avenue. I'm telling you, if you live anywhere on the South Shore, do this drive in the summertime. You will not regret it. Look at these homes. And then eventually takes you down to Sandy Beach. So, I mean, I could talk about that and show you that drive for forever. That's going to be the whole entire video if I keep that up. So let's zoom out a little bit. I want to show you where the schools are. Cohasset has very good schools. It has one elementary school, one middle school, one high school. As you know, it doesn't really need much more than that. So as we zoom out a little bit, you can see right here, the Joseph Osgood Elementary School, Deer Hill Elementary School. Now, they're not, they don't house the same grades. They just have the grades separated a little bit. Fantastic facilities, beautiful schools. And this is very close to 3A right here, which if you watch the Hingham video, 3A used to be the highway on the South Shore until they built 3. Now 3A, it's a very busy road, and it still gets a lot of traffic, but not nearly as busy. But it's right down the road from 3A. One other thing I have to point out is the Music Circus. This is, if you didn't know Cohasset, you would have no idea this is here. This is a little concert venue. They basically prop up like a circus tent, and it has a circular stage that slowly rotates throughout the whole performance. They get some pretty good acts, older acts. I've seen Train there. I've seen Vertical Horizon, Gin Blossoms, a Led Zeppelin cover band. Boyz II Men was supposed to be there, and they canceled. But anyways, guys, it's a awesome little perk to have in Cohasset. Huge parking lots right here. They get concerts throughout the whole summer, some comedy shows. So it's a really good little venue to have on this teeny little town on the South Shore. So anyways, I digress. We'll go back to the schools. And as we scroll over here, guys, this is where they have the Cohasset High School and the middle school as well. It's on one campus. Beautiful football field they got here, the main field they got. This was recently redone, and it's beautiful. It's turf. But they have really good athletics in Cohasset. Girls and boys athletics, very strong in almost all sports. So, very small town, square mileage wise, also population wise. So you really can get anywhere in town within 10 to 15 minutes, no matter where you live. But guys, the price point is the last thing I will mention. Price point wise, we're looking starting at $550 to $650, and it can go all the way up to $18 million, depending on where you are in town. But I can't speak highly enough about this town. It's gorgeous. It's a beautiful, town. The coastline is amazing. The downtown's fantastic and vibrant. And then, of course, you have Sandy Beach, which, again, I know I talked about it too much. It's beautiful. The commuting is easy. It's got its own train station. You can go to the shipyard if you want to take the ferry into the city. But there's Cohasset, guys. So any questions, put them down below in the comments. Let me know how I can help you. And, of course, if you're looking to move to Cohasset, shoot me an email. I can answer some of your questions and just help you kind of figure out where in town you might want to go. But that's it for the Cohasset Google Maps tour. I'll see you in the next video.